Mics. Oh,
Hello, hello.
Testing the mic. Just a quick one.
second,
So, Guillermo's bio. I'm gonna interrupt your dad joke.
No, good. No, I was going to say, did the music stop? Can I sit down?
Yeah, no, sit down. Musical chairs are stopped. We have the best MC in the house. As you heard, guys, come to the after party. I will probably come to the end of the after party, maybe, because I have to make a family wedding dinner. But Richard just gave an amazing keynote. I looked at the program and I realized I know most of you guys here, except now Richard and C1. And then Guillermo, in the program, it says that I'm part of Brink. We partner with Brink, but I have Nushi Capital Family Office. And also doesn't say Nushi Capital Family Office, but it should say that. So anyway, just a little bit of snafus, and we're now sitting under our names, so you can find us. And our names are right, so you can find us on all our socials, LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever. And if you come and talk to us afterwards, I have presents for my panelists, but presents for you guys too. So, yeah, you have a present too.
Nice.
I have a present for you.
Thank you so much.
A small present for each of you, light, you can pack it. And yeah, I'm gonna turn it over to Rich.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say Wicked Pissa.
Wicked Pissa?
Because we both went to high school in Boston.
Yes, we did both go to high school in Boston. Yes, wicked. Yeah, that's wicked. Wow.
And you know what, So-On Kim, I apologize. I didn't introduce you on stage because I didn't see your name on the website. And my mistake.
No worries. But I mean, we actually met each other at network school. Yeah, exactly.
We did.
So I was like,
I was like, why are there 5 6? Oh, look. Oh, my man. Nice to see you. So you know what? We have 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like Jennifer's already said an awesome collegial open tone. Like, why don't you just talk a little bit about? I'll let everybody talk about them. Just like 1 minute, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. You need a break too. You just gave a really good keynote.
Okay, so I'll start. So my name is Siwan Kim. I'm the founder of Botanica. So we are providing the full stack infrastructure for businesses and users to safely store their data on our network and also synthetically generate data sets to be able to train their AI agents. So yeah, we are a Web3 project building on Solana. And yeah, great to be here and great to join other panelists.
Thank you. Maybe I'll go next. My name is Guillermo. You can call me G. Not many people can pronounce Guillermo. I'm the managing director of Brink. We are a venture capital firm here headquartered in Hong Kong. We've been around for about 11 years. We've supported about 2,000 startups and invested in about 250 of those. And we've got a big presence here in Asia with offices in Singapore, Korea, Japan, Guangzhou, big presence in India and the Middle East. So we're the longest running accelerator out of Hong Kong.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Chang Lo. I enlisted some of our amazing audience members to take some pictures and videos for us before I grab it back. Thank you so much. I started Nushi Capital, which means new girl. Family office when I had an exit in the e-commerce space. Then 2 IPOs. One IPO later was when I had my exit and I started Nushi. I've invested in more than 300 companies and funds as well, directly. And a lot of my portfolio along the way, I started investing on purpose into AI and Web3 6 years ago, but a lot of my portfolio on the way became AI and Web3. Oh my gosh, I see a lot of familiar faces in the audience, so I'm so happy it's more like roundtable fireside discussion for this, and a lot of thought leaders here. Some people from the previous panel are now coming on over. I see Thomas from my MBA cohort. I see a lot of amazing faces. But I want to say we're going to be talking right now about what's going to be disruptive. We have an excellent moderator, excellent folks that I get along with IRL. We partnered with some of these amazing companies. And then finally, if we have time later, I might debut my AI agent a little bit, and she can play piano for us and other things. Okay?
So she also plays piano. Check out her website. Will you stop being so awesome? Like, it's ridiculous, right? You should check out the piano stuff that she does as well, too.
Yeah, Rich is right. I'm like many of you guys, I'm a multi-hyphenate. So I'm an exited founder, investor with my own family office, a pianist, a model, and an actress. So look for me on some TV series coming out in 2026 on your streaming network.
Boom.
Boom.
Wow.
Back to
Hello.
Desmond, another longtime friend.
My CV seems a little less compared to hers, okay? But yeah, my name is Desmond Marshall. I am the founder and owner, MD of Huge Ventures. What we do, we've been here in Hong Kong for pretty much nearly 20 years already. So what we do is we do business transformations for companies, VC style, using VC strategies. We also have a VC fund as well, but also something a little bit different is we have a rice farm, a real rice farm in Thailand. which we do agriculture tech acceleration. So we're housing like more than 80 different startups, agriculture tech startups around the world in the farmland in Thailand. And what they do is just use the farmland, test it out, and we showcase them in front of the government, in front of investors, in front of business clients.
Wow, I want to double click on that. Excellent. Desmond and Jennifer, great to meet you. And I know Guillermo and Siwan from back in the day. And so I'm entrepreneur in residence at Animoca Brands here in Hong Kong. I'm based in Bali, Indonesia. And some of you might have just seen my presentation before. I'm chairman of this industry group called the Intercognitive Foundation, and we're making the physical world accessible to AI. So I am on fire and just super excited about this AI future. And I'd just like to say, right before we start, that I welcome our machine overlords. I know you're listening to this now or in the future, and I will, I don't know, oil you, defrag you. Some of these people may or may not be on board, but I am, okay? So I just, did I just say that out loud?
You said that out loud.
Okay.
It wasn't in the meta-conscious.
Thanks very much. So let me ask. Let me start with you, Jennifer. So, everybody here investing in the AI space, and I heard a nice metaphor recently that like AI is like a piece of cake. Sometimes it's baked in the cake. Sometimes it's just frosting on top.
Yeah.
Both can be delicious. Both can be delicious, right? There's plenty of like frosting on existing things that can give efficiencies and also, you know, be able to like cut costs. Like, tell me how you look at potential investees sort of through that lens.
Yeah, that's actually amazing. I'm really glad that you are starting with me and putting me on the spot, Rich. First of all, I love Animoca. That was one of my earliest portfolio companies.
I don't think being on the spot is a problem for you. Come on.
Not a problem, not a problem. But Animoca is one of my favorite companies. They're an example of a company where I would call them more an index fund than a company. I've been longtime friends with Yacht. Evan and Bobby and I also go way back. And Evan actually went to Brown with me. So, you know, shout out to Evan if you're wandering around. I'll see you probably later. But one thing I really admire about that kind of company, as well as other companies in Web3 and in AI that are not necessarily AI native, is that it's important to iterate and have AI as part of your DNA, whether you are focused on it or not. It's like before when I was part of the e-commerce boom. People were like, I'm not on websites. I don't do social media. And I'm like, that's called being invisible. So if you don't have AI baked into the cake and not just part of the frosting, then you are rendering yourself technologically obsolete, right? And then one of the things I like to do is learn by doing. So I actually don't invest in companies until I've done it myself. Like she'll say hi later, but I coded my own AI, right? And then she can play piano and other things. But I feel like the best way we invest and we learn is by doing. So I don't want to invest in any companies or even fund managers or founders or partner with anyone who I don't like and that I can sit on a panel with and have coffee with. I don't want to invest in anyone that I don't think I'll be using in my real life myself. I mean, you heard Desmond has a real world asset, rice farm, right? And I'm going to pass it back to you now, Rich.
Thanks very much. Why don't we go to, you know, Mr. Kim at the end there? Like, what are your thoughts about that of like, you know, cake versus frosting? And
Well, I mean, I guess coming from the perspective of not the ones who are investing into AI, but who needs investment. So, you know, if anyone's out there investing, hey, let's talk. I think for us, you know, what's really key, it really is, are we using AI or are we actually contributing to AI? I think there are a lot of businesses out there who claim that, you know, oh, they're AI native, but the fact of the matter is that AI hasn't been around for such a long time for anyone to really claim to be an expert or a native. But there's a clear difference between businesses who are trying to improve their process using AI agents or solutions, which is perfectly fine. However, it's about what degree do you really want to go on, right? Are you just using it to improve your operations or how you're building these things? Or are you trying to create more of a full stack approach? And this is kind of what we're doing, right? Which is that, you know, we say, okay, well, not only are we using AI to improve the process, we're also looking at the AI that we're using and thinking, how can we actually contribute to make this AI solution better so that those people who are actually using this AI solution can actually have better outcome. And this is why, you know, we kind of went a level deeper and focusing on the infrastructure and kind of the sourcing of the data to be able to improve this AI. So I think it's difficult to say that, you know, hey, you know, we are AI native or we're AI experts, but it's really, are we kind of looking at AI critically and saying, hey, I can actually do something to make this better, to improve this, rather than just being a client of services that it offers.
Thanks. Desmond, over to you, and then I'll go to you, Guillermo. Like, what are your thoughts around that lens of cake versus frosting?
As a VC, anytime anyone comes up to me and say, "Hey, my company is AI or whatever with the two words AI," I pretty much immediately know that it's just the frosting, because most of the time I will be asking. If I do ask, I would be asking, "Where are your servers?" AI, the most important part of AI is actually computing power. So, but it's fine. Not everyone is as rich as Elon Musk having his own server farms or like ChatGPT, but it's fine. The thing is, how do you do much in terms of for the business, give it value, transform it into something different with just the frosting, with just the wrapping paper? And it's fine sometimes. It's just a matter of how do you use that data to actually help that company push it to the next level. So that's one of the key things I look at in terms of, hey, if I'm investing, if I'm looking into as a venture capital, I will be looking at, hey, just like what we have in terms of the agriculture tech, there are a lot of companies saying, hey, we have AI in the agriculture tech, but one of the things I look at is predictive analysis, helping farmers to predict what you should be doing. Sometimes it gives up crap answers, sometimes it gives really good answers, depending on the kind of data that you can actually have. So I think one of the key things in terms of, hey, if you just got frosting, make sure you have good sugar, the data.
Well played, sir. So hey, so I've known Guillermo for a while. So Animoca is an investor in Brink, and I don't know, maybe the metaphor is this, is like, if you've ever been to an improvisational comedy show, a lot of people can do improv. A lot of people say that they're an accelerator, but if you go to the most expert, like Y Combinator or Techstars or Brink, then you see the differentiators of a real accelerator. And I can really say, being inside, like the professionalism and the continuous learning has been incredible, and I really mean that, and it's great. So,
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So tell us about your sort of views, around this lens.
Sure, and thank you for the kind words. Just to riff on that a little bit, one of the things that makes me really proud is when a founder graduates from our program and they participated in an accelerator before, but they tell us that the experience with us was much tougher than they expected and that they get a lot more value. That makes me happy. That makes me happy, especially if they go into another accelerator. To come back to your point, I think the distinction between frosting or just the batter itself, there are some AI-powered companies or AI-first companies that are great, but are just not investable. They're not VC backable. They're not venture deals. If you go on Twitter and look at the whole hashtag building in public or solopreneurs, you have indie builders that are building very, very good wrappers. There's a founder in Hong Kong that's making $50,000 just digitizing bank statements to make them searchable. There's a founder in Singapore that's making about $2 million US every year just creating headshots. You just train his model and it spits out headshots, so you don't have to hire photographers. Those are great companies, especially if it's a small operation of 1 or 2 people. I wouldn't want to invest because you're not going to get venture returns on that. So I think for us, it's about whether the company is investable and is using AI to really scale. We've been in the drones and imaging space for a while, and all these companies used AI. They just didn't call it that. Machine learning, it's image recognition. So those companies need that as a core technology for them to succeed and for them to be investable. So it really depends on whether you're building a company to succeed or to take outside money and then bring, exponential returns.
Hey, so on. Tell me why you're investable, and then I'd love to hear, from you, Jennifer, like what you think is investable. So why were you able to, capture the imagination of investors?
All right. So why are we investable? First of all, I think we are one of the very unique teams in the Web3 where we prioritize profit. We want to make a financially sustainable product and a company, first and foremost, which doesn't really come across very easy in Web3, right? I mean, a lot of them are kind of raising a lot of capital and bleeding it out dry and saying, oh, their protocol is going to make X, Y, Z revenue. And let's be honest, even like some of the giants are just making like very laughable revenue compared to their FDV. So that's the first part. And second part is that I think me as a founder, I really understand the value of risk versus rewards, or in this case, revenue. So it's really about when, and I also have like certain VC backgrounds before, and it's about what can we actually de-risk for investors, right? And quite often, at least, I mean, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, is that for us, the risk comes in our ability to be able to make a valuable product and innovation based on the amount of financial input that we get, right? Is that, okay, investors invest money into us, and then we use the money. What if we fail? That's a completely valid question, right? So this is why we have bootstrapped everything to be able to de-risk as much tech as possible. Our hardware is completely finished. Our operating system also finished. Our protocol is also fully developed. And our certifications are done. Our licensings are done. So we are able to confidently go to investors and say, hey, if you actually invest us into this much, here is the revenue that we'll be able to unlock on day one. Here's the revenue that we'll be able to unlock by the end of this year. And then next year, this is the revenue that we're planning to unlock. Why? It's not just based on numbers, because we have already signed the deals. We have already had the invoices. We have already done the pre-sales. So we are able to go to investors and prove that with your funding, we'll be able to unlock more money, which means more money for us, but more importantly, more money for you. And together, in our next round, let's do something even bigger, even better, right? And this is kind of moving on to the projection of what's next. After we give you more money back, what's next on the horizon? Is it, okay, thank you very much, turn off the lights, goodbye, or do we have a bigger vision? And I think we have the bigger vision. I think we have de-risked the tech. I think we understand the risk versus rewards ratio. And so, yeah, I think this is why I find Botanic, personally, for me, investable.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. So I think there's like a graph. So this is time here, and at the top of the graph is risk, and at the bottom is valuation. And over time, you hopefully de-risk, and then your valuation comes up, and wherever that intersects, if you can raise money after that. So basically de-risk, but at the same time, set that big vision and upsides, get people really, FOMO, and then, make them feel comfortable. So well said. So Jennifer, it looks like you really get involved, like you put your, get your hands into the loom, so to speak, and tell me what you look for when you're making decisions.
So what I look for, and actually I think you touched upon exactly, is that for me, likability is intrinsically tied to fundability. And something that Desmond said about the principles of what they invest in as a VC fund, and also what Guillermo said about the successful cohorts who make it through Brink, is actually something that I look for as a family office who deploys and allocates to both VCs and also founders. And actually what Siwon just said actually demonstrates it. He's focused on the fundamentals. He's focused on creating that return for his investors. He's focused on the product. He's focused on all the different facets that will keep a company going. Because as much as people say oh, it's about the vision, oh, it's about execution, it's about the team, those are just but a few touch points. A lot of the intangibles, a lot of the green flags that I look for are elements of what they've mentioned. But the other thing is that because I think I'm a non-traditional family office, because I started it with my own exit, so I'm kind of a founder who likes to invest in other founders and funders. I choose and curate the founders and funders I work with carefully, because what I like to provide is not just capital, but advisory, cap introductions, and I'm hands off. If my founders are like, oh, I need something, can you evangelize this? I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm there. And then I don't need to be micromanager day to day, because if I'm choosing good people, they will be functioning together as a unit or a team. I think I remember you presenting actually C1 at KBW or one of the other conferences, because I've definitely run across you and been like, hello, Chamba. But anyway, the investing world, the Web3 world, the AI world is very small. It's like basically us on stage and 5 more people. I'm just kidding, but basically your reputation precedes us. So if you're a good founder, you exit well, you provide shareholder and customer and community value, then it'll be easy for you, same with fund managers, to raise your next company's funds or raise your next funds, right? And then be able to find allies who are then cohesively helping you. Anytime Animoca's like, I need help here, I'm like, hi, I'm there. Or Sandbox is like, I need some help here. I'm like, okay. So that's what we're all trying to do, grow that pie bigger so everyone can benefit.
Yeah, I'm glad you say that. And also from a founder's perspective, when you're taking on capital, you have to think like, will I be able to enjoy spending, 7 to 11 years with this person, or maybe longer, right? It's like a marriage where you really can't get divorced in a way, right? So that kind of humanistic aspect is quite important, and maybe not spoken, enough about. And so, Guillermo, like you guys do a really excellent job keeping that human aspect, but you actually have quite, large volume, right? I mean, you go through a big, application list, a big funnel. Like, how are you doing that kind of like checklist
Sure.
or around AI and
So two parts to this. One is we started playing around with AI before it was cool, simply because of volume. So we'll look at anywhere between 2,000 to 3,000 startups every year. And while we do have a relatively large team of about 80 people globally, that's not enough to properly review the startups. So what we started to do is train essentially a system, now it's called a model, that would spit out scores based on the importance of certain factors, certain criteria. Full-time founders, technical ability, revenue, run rate, etc. And we started tweaking that year on year after reviewing the startups ourselves. So as the startups apply to our programs, as we source them through a scout network, our model will spit out scores. And it's gotten really, really good over the years. We're looking at thousands of startups. We will then obviously come in manually to review the shortlisted companies to make sure we're not missing anything. So for us, the data element is really important, but the data doesn't make the decisions. Our conversations with the founders do. Getting to know them, why are they getting out of bed every day to solve this problem? Why are they working with that person? Why do they really want to do this for the next 7 years, right? So for us, that element, that human element, it's super important. We want to work with them. We're going to put them through the trenches. We're going to put our reputation behind them. We're going to make introductions for them. We want to make sure that they're going to succeed, and we want to give them the unfair advantage to succeed. On the second part of this, how do we go forward? It took us about 7 years to support 1,000 entrepreneurs. It took us about 4 years to support the next 1,000. So we want to get to a point where we can support 1,000 every year. Now, we've launched a new platform like 3 days ago called Ventureverse. We just did an acquisition of a big community team yesterday. It was announced on TechCrunch in Asia, and Tech in Asia.
double click on that for us. Like, how
Yep.
do we find out about it? Where do we go to?
Ventureverse.com.
Ventureverse.com.
We launched this 2 days ago with
Wow, I
an
didn't know.
acquisition yesterday of a big team to manage this, which is essentially a platform of AI tools for founders. Cap table management, dilution scenarios, pitch practice. It's essentially, if you think of like Odoo or all these big suites for enterprises, but it's for founders. Tools based on our models that support founders. And we're going to open this up, not just to the companies that we support, that we accelerate, but any entrepreneur out there that wants to launch a startup. So that's kind of how we want to get to the next 1,000 every year.
Super exciting. I didn't know about that. That's amazing. Wow. And guys, any founders out there, remember, data and numbers are certainly important. But if anybody saw my presentation earlier, it's about stories. We are all hardwired to respond to stories. So in some ways, it seems maybe unprofessional or maybe even like childlike or whimsical, but stories really embed themselves. What you want to do is poison one of the partners' minds and then have them be able to poison somebody else's mind by taking that story and that nugget. And people may not remember data or numbers, but they remember how you make them feel and they remember stories. So, hey, so tell us some stories about some of your founders and how you made some decisions on things in the AI space that like really excited you and like some of your criteria.
Well, normally as a VC, when normally people come over to me, my first question is why are you asking for money?
Why, yes.
Yeah. So I normally tell people, do not ask for money because it comes with a lot of strings, a lot of ropes, a lot of chains attached. So I don't want to get married with you, neither you to me. So if you can answer this question in a very logical way and in a sustainable way, then it can go to the second question is, what are you actually doing in terms of what are you doing for the businesses? So I don't like flashy stuff. I like the boring stuff. So the dirtier, the more boring it is as a business model, it actually makes much more money.
Well, I know you went dirty and boring because you have a rice farm, right?
Yeah, we have a rice farm.
I live in Bali, and nothing could probably be more dirty or boring than farming rice. It's really, really difficult.
It is.
But it's literally the lifeblood of
It's
like
a core.
humanity, right? Yeah.
It's a core. farming Thailand rice is actually the biggest exporters in the world. So when you're talking about these, it's like, why we're doing this, not only because we have a rice farm, an actual rice farm, but the thing is, when everyone's talking about AI these days, they're just a bunch of kids in an office, and that's it. They don't have executional skills. They don't know what it is. What we are looking for, and for everyone else, we talk about business transformations as well. We need not just managers who point and say, hey, do this and do that, ordering people, but we need people to actually do hands-on work. Because your Gen Zers will not be here for long because they are jumpy. They don't stay for long. They're very hard to...
Damn Gen Zers. Get off my lawn.
Yeah. So the thing is, hey, you're going to be thinking about staff shortages. So you need to do something that, hey, if someone leaves your team, what's going to happen? So you can clean the toilets. You don't have to always clean the toilets, but you need to know how to clean the toilets because someone's going to con you by saying, hey, if you need a toilet, you need an AI robot, the Optimus Tesla robot. That's going to cost you like how much right now? $3 million for just on the waiting list or whatever? Yeah, I'm not a sucker for those. And these are things that we also look at, and of course, we talk about the risks. One of the things that we normally look into, and also for when we're doing business transformation for a lot of different companies, they don't know, is what we call geopolitical risks. Things that they don't know about the politics. Politics are changing so fast. Let's put an example. Some of our startups, they do AI, and I normally know that's just frosting. So, okay, what kind of frosting you have? What is actually the cake inside? So I'm using ChatGPT. Okay, fine, ChatGPT, I can't use it in Hong Kong. So what's going to happen? So I can't get the right data, or I can't get the right stuff coming out. I'm getting 404 errors around here. Do I need to do VPN as well? Okay, these are the fine details of execution. And of course, when you're doing something like this these days in terms of AI, you will also expect that someone in your company or the user, which is the business clients, will be typing something funny. So say, for example, hey, I don't like the President of the United States. What's going to happen in the AI when you start chatting with it? And remember, everything is tracked in this world. So certain countries are a little bit more sensitive than other countries.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. And I love how, hey, you're right. If you're going to, you need funding, of course, but, it's not like you walk up to, hey, Gao Shui Fu, hey, tall, rich, and handsome. What kind of apartment do you have? What kind of car do you drive, right? It's like, hey, let's go out on a date. Like, tell me about your hobbies or whatever, right? So, all right. So I want to start with Guillermo and then come back towards me and loop around. So you talked about what makes a company investable, or there are some companies that are not investable, maybe because they're lifestyle businesses, but maybe also because they've just broken out of the force of gravity and they're already profitable with so what's happening now is, or what happened before is like, I need $3 million bucks. Why do you need $3 million bucks? Well, I need to start with 18 engineers, and then I'm going to grow it up to 36 over this many months, and then I need to go launch. And it's like, well, you don't need that many engineers anymore. And after you launch, maybe you could do something with an influencer, or maybe it goes viral. It's like where's VC fit in? Where does accelerators come in? And I know you're let's use AI to actually make things even better. But then AI is also maybe disintermediating you in the future. How do you see that?
Don't take people's money. A bunch of investors here, don't talk to us. If you
Don't
don't
even
have
think
to,
about it.
don't
Don't
take
do
people's
it.
money. Don't give up equity in your company. Keep control. Keep shares in it. Don't take people's money if you don't need it. And today is really easy to build a really good company beyond the lifestyle business, that it's scalable, that it's incredibly profitable, that grows really, really quickly. Don't take people's
That's
money.
why I love these guys, because who's saying that?
Don't do
You
it.
guys are saying that. But
However-
go deeper. And I know Jennifer wants to jump in after
No,
that.
however, if you can scale very quickly, if you can create a moat, if you can become a very large player and a defensible player by taking money, then it might make sense. Where you're not putting yourself at risk, where you can return the money for the investor, then it becomes attractive. And for us, it's when we can really give the startup an advantage. We go early, right? We like to support startups that are anywhere between seed to pre-series A, where we know we can give them that unfair advantage. We know that we can help them not only survive, but to succeed. So if we know that our network, our bench, our family can help the startups, we would pitch towards them taking our support. Only then, when they can grow fast enough, become defensible, create a moat that allows them to maintain that market position. Only then take people's money.
Yeah, I was going to emphasize. Hello. Yeah, I was going to emphasize being non-transactional, and I'm going to give you a few stories from the trenches of both successful startups I've raised for. Yeah, stories. So one of the reasons why I said don't be transactional is sometimes people come up to me at conferences and say like, oh, hey, and I'm like, I'm late to something. And they're like, it's okay, I'm going to take just a half hour of your time. And then they start pitching me. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of like, because actually family offices, investors, institutions, VCs, accelerators, entrepreneurs, we don't have time. Our time and our resources. And one way that I've been able to reach 1 to 1,000 is on my investment committee, I have about 100 of us. So they're subject area experts. So I'll say, like if I'm looking at a biotech startup I helped raise 100 million for example, and then they also had an IPO as one of their portfolios, I doubled down by making sure, hey, my resident expert at medical helped me look at this amazing life-saving routine. Then we were able to get the German billionaire Christian Angermeyer as well as Peter Thiel and other people to co-invest. Because I also like to be early and do the barbell approach. So one of the startups that actually did really well, one of the robotic startups, they're having an IPO later this year. I'm waiting on several IPOs right now that got delayed. I housed that robot and I helped them raise a few million early on because they only had their friends and family money. I housed the robot in my apartment while they were expanding to Asia. Then they became the market leader, delivering meals and pandemic supplies to all the college campuses in the US. They're going to be IPOing as robot.com soon. They asked me to help raise them another 20 million. Let's see, right? But one of the things I want to look at is if I have a long-term relationship with someone, also if I'm looking at a company, it has to be referred by a friend or a warm VC who is also looking at the deal. So most of everyone on my investment committee has been already either my childhood best friend, high school best friend, college best friend, MBA best friend, or someone I've already had success with. So on average, they built 3 to 5 unicorns with me because I'm serial exited and I care about my reputation. Another startup I've been helping for a couple years and now I've announced publicly is it's called Open Ordinal. So they're like the Bitcoin Superstore app. And right now, I have a lot of people who are not Bitcoin OGs also interested in partnering because we said, hey, look at your agent, for example, that you built. And I looked at the cross synergies between my portfolio companies and said, hey, actually, if we unite a few of you guys, we can be decacorn status much faster. So then we're partnering there, right? Another one that I thought was very interesting because I think ESG is right now, it's ESG and blockchain, is NCOFI NAPTO. They already got a lot of the land developers as well as institutionals and banks behind them right now. We haven't even raised a round yet. And already there are people lining up to talk. I get too much deal flow every month, about 2,000. I'm only looking at the 100 that then get investment committee slot, 10 minutes to pitch us. And we choose once a month. We're also partnering, and we're already discussing, with other established VCs and hackathons to partner with them so we can curate that much better and put people together faster. Finally, there's one that I'm doing a big data play on called Lucia AI. They're able to actually be able to monetize before you even see what you're doing. For the big companies, they're able to 20x whatever a customer is spending. But also, if you're doing an action, pretend you're clicking on something or opening a wallet or doing anything that requires you to do something or reveal something about yourself. Your data is kept private, but then you get monetized for every action you take. Because I think right now, in terms of, what you were saying, Rich, it's really true. I'm sorry, Richard. What you were saying is really true. If you don't iterate at this point, you'll be obsolete. Whether you're Gen Z or not, someone will have your job. And then we have a lot of machine learning and automation built in to kind of look at the diligence funnel. But I think all along, a lot of people forget, even after you've invested in a startup or invested in a fund manager, you have to still be constantly doing your diligence.
Indeed, and let's talk about getting, you keeping your job as an investor and what you see as this opportunity and threat with AI, how it can disintermediate, even the need for VC or doing a lot of the jobs. Like, what do you think about that? And I'm challenging you, and you can say,
Yeah.
you're full of shit, Rich. I don't see it at all. I push you back.
Well, if you're saying like this, it's like everyone saying, hey, the internet's going to take your job away, or any robot can take your job away. The thing is, if a robot can take your job away, then you're not really useful in a way. So you make yourself useful first, you improve yourself, you do something different. If you're always like scrubbing the floor, then maybe you should think about something different. But of course, robots can't clean the corners of a toilet. So maybe that's your niche. And so the thing is, there's a lot of say, well, we were here when people were talking about blockchain and Bitcoin. I was one of the very first people who actually invested in blockchain. The thing is, it was pretty much a hype. Right now, it's like more on a foundation kind of level. AI is really, really on a hype level right now. The thing is, I really want people to really look into and say, hey, it is not everything rosy, because I'm still getting crazy answers coming from ChatGPT. They can't even do a lot of my stuff. And like I said, the most important thing is what kind of data are you actually using? Because some of the LLMs are actually very restricted and also very curated in terms of their data. So the thing is, hey, and especially with what we have in the farms as well. So some of the farms are really good predictive analysis, but it doesn't work in Asia because they don't have Asia data. And that's what we're providing for them as well. So we can actually see, okay, if you have Asian data right now, what are you coming up in terms of the results? So AI is going to be part of a tool, just like email, just like your mobile phone. It's just a matter of how you're going to use it to a different level. And I don't think that it's going to replace human beings, because I don't think they can produce babies.
Hey, Richard, I actually noticed a few more folks come in. Hi, Genzio Media over there. Hi, Enoch over there. A lot of folks that you might want to mingle with afterwards. I think we have 8 more minutes, so maybe we can save the last few minutes for Q&A.
Sure.
I love this, by the way.
Do it.
And Desmond he's such a firebrand.
Who has a
10
question?
years, he's still like,
Anybody have a question from
being
the
the
audience?
contrarian over there.
Don't be shy. Here we go, right here.
Yeah, let's
Please
get some
tell me your
questions.
name and what you do. Thanks.
I was the youngest regional manager at SoftBank at 2000. I was actually at the epicenter of that bubble. Sergio. And
He's famous.
I feel a lot of things happening, repeating themselves again and again. So what do you think about that? Are we in a bubble, or are we in the bubble X, 10X bubble, whatever?
Let's bring this fine gentleman in. Like, what are you feeling like being on the other side of the table and seeing other competitors and seeing, the whole market right now?
I think essentially the main difference between repetition and bubble is momentum and direction. If everything is repeating without much of a momentum and without much of a direction, then it tends to be a bubble. And I think if there is momentum and direction and clear move, like direction forward, then it tends to be more of a upward spiral where of course there's going to be somebody invents something and then it scales up, becomes successful. There's copycats, improvements, so on and so forth. But it's about, okay, are we actually just making the same circle, or is the circle getting bigger and are we actually moving forward? I think for AI right now, I'm especially. I think it's like 80% bubble, to be honest. I personally test a lot of AI agents that's like on-chain. This is kind of also like what I do. And most of them, like 95% of them, I can just unwrap with just like one simple prompt, right? It's not exactly something revolutionary. But quite often there are a few gems where I see, okay, this is something quite useful. This is something that I think can lead the industry in the next few years. And I think these are going to be the catalyst that actually starts the upward spiral.
So let me just recap there. It's not 80-20, it's 95-5. So 5% are not in the bubble, and Botanica AI is one of the 5%. So let's just recap that. Well played. Good job.
Or
Anybody else
Alright.
you want to?
I wanted my AI to say something to you all. Also, shout out those of you who want to interview with Genzio Media over there. And Jane, I just saw her from Start Me Up. Happy birthday, belated birthday.
Let's all wrap that up, everybody.
Yeah,
We're gonna
we'll
wrap
wrap it up. I'm gonna have my
Happy
AI
birthday to you, Jane Chan. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Jane. Happy birthday to you.
And that's a
so
wrap,
my AI
everybody. Thank you very much. Suwon Kim, Guillermo Canesta, Jennifer Chung Lo,
Thank you.
Desmond Marshall. I'm Rich Robinson. Happy birthday, Jane Chan.
Birthday,
We love
Jane.
you.
Birthday,
Thank you,
Jane.
Rich.
The best
Thank you.
HK. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
Rich.
Thanks.
amazing, amazing! What a fantastic discussion. Is this on?